us, please turn on your camera. We are going to start the show. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I would please kindly ask for all of you to turn off your flash photography, keep your hands inside the cart at all times, and enjoy the ride. All right, here we go. Chapter 3, webinar series, part 3, website and SEO. Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Sarah McCraw. I'm the administrative assistant / programs coordinator here at the Grafton Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm coming up on my 2-year anniversary here, May 5th, FYI. Flew by. Hello, everybody who just joined us. 2 years here, almost 2 years, but it feels like just a lifetime of a wonderful place to work. So here's what we're going to go over today. People, get excited. I hope you have your notepad, your pencil, you're ready to learn. If you don't, that's okay, because we will share these slides with you later. But today we're going to take a deeper look at websites. I'm going to say, if you joined us at that first part, that was like 101, that's that freshman year class. Now we're going to bump you up to sophomore level and take a few looks at do's and don'ts, right, at the sophomore level of computer stuff. That's what I call it, computer stuff. I'm very fancy with my technology terminology. Search engine optimization. We've all heard about it. We know it's SEO for short, but what is it? We'll find out. We'll dig into it. Meta tags, metadata, all that, like how the sausage is made to SEO, basically. We're going to dive into that. Yummy in my tummy. SEO plugins. Ooh, fun. And then we're going to talk about website analytics, right? So it's one thing to have a website, but can you read the information that's given to you from the back end of your website? What do you do with it? How do you decipher it? We're going to take a look at the rules of thumb, things to remember, guidelines when you're looking at your analytics, because it can be very overwhelming when if you look at it and you aren't really, if no one's ever taught you how to read that roadmap before, you can be like, what? Yeah, well, I'll teach you. We'll go together. Hello, welcome. Hi, everybody. We're just going over what's going on in the program outline today if you're joining us. And yeah, it's going to be all good information to help you grow your business, right? Because if your website is healthy, that helps draw customers to your business, which ultimately leads to money and revenue. Google Analytics. We're going to go through Google Analytics. I'm going to tell you right now, today I'm covering WordPress and Google Analytics and Yoast SEO. And those are the products I use. If you drink Pepsi and I drink Coke, it's no big deal. They're both soda. They both work the same way. These are just the products I'm talking about today because it works for me. But go out and find your own SEO soda brand that you like, okay? Very good. And then just because I'm nice, I decided to throw in a bonus track to this record, which is going to be Google My Business, okay? So please, this is the disclaimer to this ride. I'm not claiming I know everything in this field, but I sure as heck have learned several tricks throughout my years, and I'm happy to share them with you guys today. So that picture on top, if Mika Lawrence was on here, she'd remember me. I worked for 3 years at the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. And so if you're like, well, Sarah, how did you learn all of this along the way? Blood, sweat, and tears, people. I sold digital advertising, print and digital advertising at the Journal-Sentinel for 3 years, and we sold SEO. I had to know SEO because I sold it. How do you sell a product if you don't know it? So yeah, and then that picture on the bottom is me working from home for the chamber with my little schmoopy, because that's the digital life we're in today. So I'm just sharing you my tricks that I have, okay? So let's get in. Website 201, sophomores, welcome to your sophomore class, okay? I hear all these dings and it's so excited to hear people coming in. Who else is here? Hi, oh, hi. I see. I just want to say hi to some folks. Hi, Mr. Higgins. Hi. And I like the date, the couple who has the date.
Hi.
Deb. You guys are sitting there learning about websites and SEO today, and that's wonderful, and I love it. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. So we are going to get into the nitty gritty. Ready? Basic rules of do's and don'ts, okay, for your website. Do's and don'ts part 2. I talked about some do's and don'ts last time. Here's the second half. For people, do back up your website. back your website up. If you have built a website, you need to have it stored somewhere, because if you get hacked, like my scholarship website did, that's a big pain in the butt. It's just gonna give you a good peace of mind. If you back your website up, should something malfunction, should you lose something, should you get hacked, should anything should happen, it's great to have as a backup to be recovered. So I highly recommend that. For WordPress, as oh, let's see, look at my mouse here. So here, let's say this is your this is a picture of WordPress, right? Your little at the back end of it where you log into your build your website. There you go to plugins, you go to add new. These are some examples of plugins here. Updraft Plus, this is the soda, right? All the different soda brands. They all do the same thing. They back up your website, just different brands. Okay. I use Updraft Plus, I believe. It's a plugin that you put on the back end of your website, and then they make it super easy for you to use. All these plugins are supposed to work for you. So we have Updraft Plus Backup Restore for the Grafton Chamber. And what I appreciate about this particular plugin when it comes to backing up your website is so like you can see, I'm looking at this plugin now. So this is what it looks like on WordPress, where here I am in WordPress. You'll find it, you'll hit settings, updraft, right? Look at all, you can hit these settings here, right? I personally, I'm a Google nerd. I love Google. Google's why it's just so great. It makes it's like if you're an Apple person, if you're a Mac person, you just love how Macs talk to each other. That's me, but for Google. So you can back your website up here on Google Drive, Dropbox, whatever this thing is. There's tons of different options here. So like if you're like, well, I don't do Google Drive, that's okay. They've got Dropbox, they've got Amazon S3, whatever you guys use. I highly recommend backing up your website and making the settings. Do you want it to back up once a month? Do you want it to back up every day? It depends on how much space you have on your Google Drive or your Dropbox, that sort of thing. For websites, if information doesn't really change a whole lot, you really only have to back it up maybe once every couple weeks, maybe once a month. I currently work on, let's see, the chamber, scholarship. I got 3 or 4 websites under my belt, and my one scholarship one, I just back up like once a month because it really doesn't change too often. But if you've got a website that has a lot of information on it, sensitive stuff, back it up, back it up. Okay. So fit those settings, fit those backup settings to fit your needs. Okay. How are we doing? Is everyone doing good? Yes. Okay. Thumbs up from Olivia. Thank you. Website do's and don'ts. 201. Okay, here's the other thing when you've got a website. I don't care if it's WordPress or like no matter what is running your website, these are do's and don'ts for any website. Okay. I would highly recommend don'ts. So here's the thing with plugins. They're a double-edged sword. You can get addicted to them. You can be like, wow, there's a million plugins. They're like apps, right? There's an app for everything. There's literally a plugin for the back of your website that can do anything your heart would desire. My recommendation though would be don't install too many plugins. And if you have a plugin installed for your website that helps you, say, like we have a plugin on the chamber website, when you go to our homepage and you see the picture scrolling, that's a plugin that helps us do that. So if you put in a plugin and you use it for a while, and then whatever, over time your website changes, take that plugin off. Make sure you update your plugins, because just like our phones need to be updated on, they need their software updated. The plugins on the back end of your website need that software updated as well. Let's see if I'm getting ahead of myself. Do periodically refresh the content on the business page of your website. But I want to go back. So if you're like, Sarah, well, how many plugins should I have? I would say no more than 20 to 25. Because if you've got more than like 20 plugins on your website, that actually slows down the performance of your website, the speed of your website. So I would say no more than that. Quality, not quantity. Make sure you guys pick plugins that are helping your website do what it needs to do. Okay. Do periodically refresh the content on your business website. Why? Because that helps with SEO actually. If you change your pictures quarterly, seasonally, if you freshen up your logos, if if you add a video quarterly here and there, that is like where you hear about the like Google has like a certain formula that it picks for SEO, right? That helps with that when you're keeping stuff fresh. So do periodically add stuff to your business website and make it fresh. However, what can that do? Well, that can make your media library very cluttered very fast. So with that said, take off some old images and remove some of those old things from your media library as well. Let's see. Don't fill out the metadata on your website until you know what your core main key business words are. Okay, your keywords, right? Right? So if you're like, what's a keyword? A keyword is a term used in digital marketing to describe a word or group of words an internet uses in a search engine. Oh, I went backwards and not forwards. Sound familiar? Has anybody ever had, I don't know, say a Journal Sentinel rep walk into their office and say, hey, I want to sell you a pay-per-click ad campaign? Have you ever had a marketing person like pay-per-click ads, pay-per-click ad campaigns? That's basically you're like bidding on your keywords to help get you ahead of the game. So yeah, that's advertising that you could buy, but I'm teaching you a way to do it organically, right? So that you could purchase this. I'm not saying you can't or you shouldn't. It's worth the money, right? It's a good marketing investment. However, I'm giving you guys these tips today so that you guys can organically do this by yourself. One of the things when I would sell SEO is in these campaigns is people will go, well, how long does this take, right? So if you plant the seed today on the back end of your website, within 3 months, you're going to see a flower grow, a digital flower. So we're going to get into metadata now because of those keywords. So keywords help with your metadata. So let's say I'm Zing Boutique, right? I'm Zing Boutique and I'm trying to figure out what my keywords are. I want to like, my keywords would be like, shopping in Ozaki County, boutique stores near me, women's clothing stores in Ozaki County, right? Whatever your keywords are, those are those things. So the keywords, you need to know your keywords as a business and nonprofit, whatever it is. You need to know what like the normal human would go in and type in on your web browser so that you make sure that you're up high on that search result list. Okay. And those keywords you have to sprinkle in with your meta tags and your metadata. Do you see Forky there? I love Forky. Oh my gosh, you guys, right? Where he's like, I don't know. That's how I feel like some days, like when they're like, what's SEO? I don't know, Forky. If you have not watched, side note, if you guys have not seen the mini shorts on Disney Plus of like Forky Ask a Question, I highly recommend it. It's hilarious. So if you feel a little bit like your friend Forky here and you've got questions on stuff, don't worry. You got a friend in me. Look, hey, look, I got my friends here with me today. Forky's going to learn with us, okay? So here's what metadata is, Forky. It's all right. I'll teach you. Huh? What? Why? Website metadata is basically this. If you strip it down, this is what it is. It's tiny places throughout your entire website where you can put descriptions for various things for your website, your business. Okay. So there's these different little pockets or holes throughout your website where you can plug in these sentences, and within those sentences are your keywords, right? Okay, you're with me. So let's keep going. Types of metadata: page titles are one, and then meta descriptions are another. Those tiny descriptions are what give search engines the info, remember, aka keywords, about your website. That information then helps search engines figure out if your website is the best fit for a relevant search result. So that's where those keywords are really important, to make sure that you have the right ones selected for your business. Because over time, it'll help you rise up in that search engine result. So if you look, this is an example of, this is the scholarship page that I work on, and the board that I sit on for. It's called ericslegacy.org. And this shows you, so here's the website title, the Eric J. Miller Panther Vision Scholarship. And then a little definition, a little description here. Okay. So let's keep going. Oh, yeah. Website metadata. Here's what you need to keep in mind. This metadata also, like, not only are the keywords in there and that helps your SEO, but the metadata itself, if you don't fill this in, if you don't fill these descriptions in, that doesn't, it's just kind of like left blank or looks weird. So when you fill this in, and I picked Blue Sky because they're a wonderful example, that when this helps draw your customers in. When they see, if I'm searching and I stumble across your website, oh, Blue Sky, and now I'm reading this description, Blue Sky of professional massage, blah, 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 man. Oh, look, Grafton, location. This helps you with your click-through rate, right? So there's a click-through rate of, there's a difference, but so like the pay-per-click campaigns, they say, well, we show your ads everywhere, but you only pay for the ones where people actually click on it, right? This is the same concept, but without putting that financial advertising dollars behind it. But this stuff here helps your click-through rate as well when you fill it out online. Okay, so where and how? Pictures, every picture on your website. When you are looking in the media section of your WordPress, and you've got that media library, every picture, you should fill out the description. If you don't have a lot of photos on your website, you should really think about including more, even if it's something as simple as a picture of your business, brick and mortar, on your location page, something simple like that. But fill out these descriptions right here, every single picture. Okay, now I go back to the chamber website and I'm like, wow, we have a lot of photos on there. But when you add in those keywords over time, it really helps out. Okay. How are we doing so far? 18 participants. Is everybody doing good? Are we right? Okay, I got a thumbs up from the Deb team. Look at that. Listen, I want to be you guys when I grow up. What a cute little morning, like fun date time together of you guys. Just doing a webinar. Just doing a webinar. Hey guys. Okay, so thank you for joining us. So I know this can be like, it can be a lot to soak in. Forky, I'm with you, man, right? I see Forky every day and I'm like, yeah. So here's something to just keep this in mind. If you go to your website and you're like, okay, Sarah, this is great. I'm going to spend the whole weekend filling out every description of every picture and every page title, and this is going to be awesome, right? And then if you go and you make those changes and then you immediately Google yourself and you don't see the change right away, don't freak out. It's okay. If you don't make these changes, it's not a big deal. Oh, look, it's just the API. Oh, look at me. I'm dropping a fancy computer acronym on y'all. I had to learn it from my husband, so don't be too impressed. So look, for example, this was our old chamber one right here. Welcome to Grafton. Right? So that was our old one. So I changed it on the back end, and then I did immediately Googled it and was like, did it work? Did it change? It didn't. Not right away. So you got to give it a minute. So the API is an acronym that stands for Application Programming Interface, which is basically you got to give time for Google and WordPress to talk to each other. So that may take some time. The whole thing with SEO that makes it such a hard thing for businesses and websites and stuff is because it takes time. It is like a garden. You're not going to see overnight immediate changes. I would always tell my clients with my SEO packages, minimum, you have to purchase a minimum 3-month packages for SEO. we wouldn't sell less than that, because you need to give yourself that time to see that difference, and you will in your analytics, and we'll get to that later down the road. So give it some time. See, after a day though, I went back, Googled it again, and then you could see that it changed, because look, I added blues music history in Grafton, right? So give it some time, people. It's okay. So keywords, metadata, meta titles, all that fun stuff leads to this, the big dun 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 SEO, baby. SEO. It's a PYT. It's a pretty young thing, SEO. So here we are talking about SEO on your web page. Pages. Okay. So your home page, your about us page, our portfolio page, our products page, our donate page, right? Literally every page of your website, fill out your SEO description. Now, again, there's a lot of different, it depends on, I will say too, like your SEO will look different in your WordPress, depending on, let's say, what kind of theme your website is running, right? Where you locate this SEO stuff, it could depend on the theme you're running. If you plug in an SEO plugin, that'll override the theme SEO stuff. So you have to just decide, do I like what my theme is, or do I want to do a plugin? This, like the Grafton page, I just use the SEO we don't have a plugin. I just use the SEO that's in our theme. So you plug in all this stuff here. Okay. Yes, you do. However, let's see, what do I have here? If you want a plugin, because then on then I have like my other website, I use a plugin. It's just easier for me. They work for you. It's like an app that works for you, but it's on the back end of your website. That's what a SEO plugin is. Lots to choose from in the plugin store. It's like I said, you're going to buy a bottle of soda, pick whatever brand you want. I don't care. Just get the soda for your website. Oh, I had that twice. That's funny. I really want the SEO plugins to work for you. That's why I emphasized it twice. I meant that. Yes, Yoast SEO is the product of my choice. Like I said, that's my Coke, but whatever you want is yours. So this is for me why I personally like Yoast SEO, because this is what it looks like on your. So like when you have a page, a post, anything on your website, all that it'll like walk you through all of this, and it'll give you these like traffic light things, which I like. And so eventually when you start plugging stuff in, this little SEO light here will light up. It'll either be red for bad, or orange for okay, or green for like your SEO is awesome. And so I just kind of like that color coded easy readability. The Yoast SEO plugin, what I also enjoy about it is like it'll tell it, like, so they'll give you clues here, like good job, here or whatever, but like fix this, right? So just if you fill that out and plug that in, that it's amazing. Here's my super deep trick now, the social. Oh no, go back. This part right here. See, if you click on the social tab of this, when you build a page, let's say Big Brothers Big Sisters has an event page, and I click on the event page, right? You fill out all this stuff, but then you're going to be sharing this event on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever. Fill out the social stuff. And what I would recommend is make it unique. What I mean by that is put a if Facebook picture is A, when you scroll down, you can't see it on here, but it's like Facebook and Twitter, make your Twitter picture B. And then those pictures are going to have those meta descriptions filled out on the back end, right? Yeah, because you're going to remember when you start loading your photos to fill in all those descriptions. It just having that uniqueness on the back end plays well with algorithms and all that jazz. So I personally enjoy this. This is what I like, but you can use whatever you want. But whatever you use, I would say fill it out to the best of your ability. Like take the time to fill it out. And I definitely have been in positions, I am in one right now actually, where like I got to go back through all my photos and fill in my descriptions and change some of my keywords of stuff, and that's okay. However, knowledge is power, right? So from here on out, any photos that you guys upload to your website in the future, just take the 2 extra minutes, because right, it can be easy to just quick upload it and keep on going, but take that extra minute after you upload it to fill out that description. Okay. Sorry, I know I'm kind of bouncing around. I'm just thinking about all this stuff and I want to make sure that I share it with you guys. So Yoast SEO, I highly recommend it. So here's some rules of thumb for SEO success, right? Things to do if you want to be successful when it comes to SEO. There's that formula, right? We all know that like search engines have formulas in order to find you. Google is the main, right? We all know that Google's the main one, but this also applies to Bing and Yahoo as well. They want you to have external links and internal links. So having links, let's say like the chamber, for example, if you go to the chamber page and I'm on, oh gosh, now I want to pull it up because I'm a visual person. Like I'm on our like learn about our board page. And then there's a sentence on there that says, do you want to become a member? I would link that. I would have that internal link on our about us board page internally link over to our become a member of the chamber page. So you want links because you want people to hang out on your website and go through the wormhole that is your own website. Having internal links does that for you. So let's say you have that just kind of keep that in mind, right? Start challenging yourself to think about where you can add internal links. External links as well is good. Just a few here and there external links to good partners, good outside resources. But internal links, I would high priority that. Start linking to other parts of your own website within your own website. Okay, a video link or two. Google for whatever, and Facebook has been doing this too, and that's social analytics, and that's Annalise's bucket, not mine. But same concept. The analytics and like they like video. This was all the rage. Like I don't know, 8 years ago. Video links. So if you have a tour video, let's say you're the Big Brothers Big Sisters and you have a tour video, have that on your website. If you don't have a video, think about putting one together. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. I mean, it could literally just pull a Sarah and Black Hawk Friday shop it and just do like a 30-second, hey guys, it's me and I'm at Zing Boutique and come look at our beautiful store. Just a little blurb, just a little video. Really easy to link up with YouTube. That helps out. Links to your website from various social media platforms. So yeah, you're out there on your own social sharing your links, right? To come back to, because the social media that's the gateway drug to get people to your website. Okay. That's the traffic driver to get people to your website, not just search engines. It's also a big part of social media. Links to your website from other websites is even better. So if you ever get a shout out anywhere, if for whatever reason your business website gets a shout out, that's wonderful. So these are all like, if I would strive for you guys, strive for this. These are things you should strive for. Yeah. Okay. Are we good? It's really weird that I can't hear people or like get reactions. So I feel like, hello, is this thing on? But I know it is. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Okay, here's a good example. This was my example before. I'm showing them again because it's a good example. So Fiddlehead's Coffee, they're like, these are all these good examples. Their news page, even if it's their own event, like, so have a news page for your business. I don't, Zing Boutique, news and events. Hey, we were featured in the Ozaki Press. Hey, we're having a women's boutique shopping thing. You need your own news and events page. And then you can share your own news on your own news page. And then you'll have other links here, right? So this is like a good example of a page that does this kind of like great thing for you to build on your website to help with that SEO, right? Instead of just like the core, like home, locations, contact us kind of things. Okay. Yes. Awesomeness. Website analytics. Oh my gosh, I could talk about this all day. I get really excited and nerdy about this. But Forky's like, what? I don't know. How do I read it? They can be hard and tricky to read. But once you know what you're looking at, it's super fun. Okay. Okay. So just like you're going to back up your website, okay, you're going to plug in you're going to download a plugin to back up your website so you never, ever, ever, ever lose that precious information, have to rebuild your website from scratch ever again, and spend hours crying into a pint of ice cream like maybe someone I know might have done once. You won't have to do that if you back your website up. Same thing with Google Analytics. You have to download a plugin to have them talk. That's the plugin helps your website talk to the analytics reader thingy and vice versa. So you download your plugin. Okay. Please do it. It's really great. It's the conductor. There's all these different, see all these. You can do this one. I don't care. Pick your soda. Just find something to help you read the analytics of the back end of your website. Okay. This is what it's Forky's like. What am I looking at? Hold on, man. Website analytics is basically this. It's a giant collection of information that is gathered, measured, and then it's reported on your website's information. It's traffic, it's page views, all of that jazz. What is the point? Why should I look at this, right? Well, if you start noticing certain trends, you can pick up on who your customers are, and you might be surprised. You might have a new group of customers out there that you didn't realize, but now you can find them because you're looking at the analytics. Okay. So here is a look at Google Analytics. Did I hear a chime? No? Anything? Okay. I'm going to click this now and let's see if, look, it works. So smooth. Okay, so I'm pulling up our analytics just to show you guys. I just kind of want to give you a fun walkthrough of stuff. So I like Google Analytics. It's very smart. It'll give you this like homepage where it'll show you like, okay, so I want to explain this stuff to you. So if you're like, well, okay, you log in and then you're like, great, I got analytics, but what does this mean? What's a session duration? What's a bounce rate? Forky, what's a bounce rate? That's where the Forky comes in my head, right? So here's the deal. That's how many users that show up to your website, but that's how many sessions. Sarah, how come I only had 205 users, but there's 239 sessions? Okay, so what that means is some of these people were not only on our website, but they went to multiple pages, because sessions is like the total number of like different pages that were visited. Okay, look at our session duration. Now this to me is a good thing. People spend a minute. That's high, y'all. Looking at a web page. That's to look at a website. A bounce rate, you always want to lower your bounce rate. I've had to learn the hard way how to do that. If you have lots of bounce rates, if you're like, well, what the hell is a bounce rate? Heck, Forky, this is a children's program. A bounce rate is where like I find your website and then I'm on it for like a hot second and then I bounce and then I click on to the next thing. You don't want that, right? You want people to be on your website and search your products, learn about you, get to know your company, you want them to stay on your website. So that's where you want to see the session duration go up and the bounce rate go down. If you have a high number of sessions, like higher number of sessions and users, that's good, because that means that people are on your website and they're clicking around to different pages on your website. Okay. The other thing that I like about Google Analytics is The only thing that I don't like about Google Analytics is that they've got this goosey blue thing going on, but I wish they would have made these colors more prominent to show the difference between organic search, direct, social referral, and other. So this will tell you how are people organic searches. That's like, I went to Bing and searched organic health food stores in my area, and then Slow Pokes came up, right? That's an organic search. Direct means they went direct to your website. They went to zingboutique.com, boom. Social media. And then a referral is maybe they saw a link somewhere else on another website. Okay, that's what that is there. What I like about this too is when you're doing Google Analytics is you can modify this. Do I want to look at just the last week, the last 90 days? You can customize it to whatever timeline of stuff you want to look at. That's really cool. Same with up here, like you can do that. See here, last 7 days, audience overview. You can change that over the last 90 days. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow, right? Oh, look, our bounce rate is down over 90 days, so that's good. So are we feeling this? Yes, the other cool thing is you scroll down in here. Oh, this is funny. I was telling Annalise this last week. So it'll say like, what's your busiest time of day for your website? Ours is Monday at 2 o'clock and Friday at 2 o'clock. You know, people are at work like, let's check out the chamber website. Woo! I just find that funny. So you can see where in the America people are coming from. Oh, this is cool over here. Wait, hold on. You can see sessions by device. Can everyone see this? Yes. Yeah. Okay, great. Sessions by device, desktop, mobile, tablet. So you can see the breakout of how many people are coming to you via desktop, mobile. I expect desktop for the chamber because we're all at work, right? And we're in work mode, but your business could be different. I have other websites where it's like 87% mobile because let's be real, everybody's on mobile. Okay, so let's keep going. What else do I want to show you that's super fun? Oh, this is neat too. You can look and see your page views. So this dash here is our home page. So that'll show you our home page, registration, chamber business directory. These are our pages, what just within the last week. So then you can look and adjust this, right? Okay, so these are all these fun little like clues to your shoppers, your potential customers, right? And these are either current shoppers or potential shoppers or customers that you want to retain. So another thing with analytics too is there's this audience area. Oh my gosh, so fun. So here, but I cannot stress this enough. You have to make sure that your Google Analytics like it syncs up with your WordPress, right? So follow, if you have any issues trying to link it up, give me a call. I can help you, walk you through it. But once they talk to each other, oh my gosh, it's bananas. It's so cool to see all this. So you can get an overview of your audience. Let's see what I want to show you. Please stand by, talk amongst yourselves. Oh, see here, look. So underneath audience, you can scroll down. Now you can get into the nitty gritty. You can get to the demographics, the demos of your people, their interest, their geographies, where they're coming from, right? Their behaviors, all that stuff. So that's the kind of stuff you're going to want to look at. For us though, we really focus on like what pages are most useful. What are the big pages? So here's our audience overview. I just want to see. Hold on. I got like 40 different monitors of it one. Okay, so we're just looking at this real quick. So it says users, new users, sessions, number of sessions per user, page use, page session, bounce rate, average session duration, right? Okay. So again, this is all the kind of the cool stuff that you can get with Google Analytics. But pay attention to your analytics no matter where you get them from. Because as you start learning about your visitors, Where are they coming from? Are they coming from desktop? Are they coming from mobile? Are they men? Are they women? What are your big pages that they're visiting, right? That'll kind of help you figure out a little bit more about your audience. Yes. Mhm. How are we doing, everybody? Are we feeling less like Forky? Are we feeling a little bit more like to infinity and beyond? Okay, me too. All right. Bonus track. Wicka wicka. Okay, Google Business people. I highly recommend this. If you have not claimed your Google Business, do it now. Like right now. Like now. Okay. I really like it because it's well, so Google, let's just be real, Google's king in the search engine world. So the more you play nice with Google, the better your life is. It's free. What's wrong with free? Nothing. It allows you to control and change the info on your listed page, as you can see there. It can help you interact with customers. You get to list things like your hours, your address, your pictures, your website links, all this great crazy stuff. This is one of those things where, like, you know, where you want those outbound links, claim your Google Business, put a bunch of I put a bunch of our photos up there. I've seen traffic and stuff. It's legit. Google gives business owners access to reviews left on Google and allows the business to respond to those reviews. That's huge. You don't want to leave those reviews unanswered, good or bad. So I highly recommend that you claim your Google Business. And I'm going to show you ours now on the back end. This is what the back end of Google Business looks like. I'm still getting used to it myself. I'm not going to lie. So hold on, I'm just minimizing my screen again. So here we are, Grafton Area Chamber of Commerce, my business. This is our home page. Look at performance views. Holy cow, look at this. Our hours were updated. Yep. Our profiles only 70% updated. So go, like, it'll give you like guidelines and stuff, right? Yeah. Info, plug in all your info, right? There's a spot. So I'm thinking of Zing Boutique products. You can plug in products here, y'all. Isn't that great? Look, products. So then you would like just plug in a bunch of products. That's really fun. If I had a brick and mortar store, I would be all about that. Photos, because again, Google talks to each other and they like photos. So look at all my Grafton Chamber photos I added to our Google 10 weeks ago. I posted that 10 weeks ago and it said 300 views. Okay. So yeah, see all this amazing. Wow, look at that one. Look at that. Huh. Okay. So fill out all this stuff in your Google My Business like yesterday. Now, okay, bonus. If you're like, that's a lot of work, Sarah. I just want to pay for stuff. Take my money. You could do that too. Because look, under Google Business, you do have the option of running Google ads here if you wanted. So you can create an ad here. Let's say you don't have a website yet. Under Google Business, you can build your own website. I haven't used it. I don't know squat about it, but I'm just frankly being honest with you. But look, it says get started. Welcome. Super easy. It's the Denny's menu of the Google build your websites, right? So if you need that option, it's here. No. I'm good. Thank you, Google. We got our own website. So going back to Google Business. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff out there. Hold on, please stand by. Where am I going? I just wanted to go back to my slideshow. Oh yeah, here we go. Haha. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff out there, you guys. That's about it. I would say don't feel overwhelmed. I know it can be very overwhelming to think of like, oh gosh, now I've got all this stuff to fill in. Because if you're like, oh, I don't have as much stuff as I should on my website, right? It's okay. Take your time. Just break it out in chunks. But now I would like, so thank you very much for the presentation. I hope you all enjoyed it. You got a friend in me. We have 15 minutes for Q&A. So please raise your hand. Feel free to unmute yourself. I'd like questions from the audience.
So a couple things, Sarah. One was the idea of when you talked about the linking of your social media with your website. Do you start the campaign on your website and then move to social media? Or do you take social media and move it over to your website?
Great question. So so give me an example, like you
Well, you were showing the social media tab on the
Oh,
back end.
oh,
And
I
then you were
see.
showing how you wanted us to, we could share the pictures, we could do all of that. So is it already on social media and we're moving it over, or are we starting it on our webpage
Oh,
and moving it?
sure. Yeah. Okay, so here's the deal. Please, yeah. I want to pull up that photo so I can explain it better. Doo-doo.
While you're doing that, I just want to tell you all that Gail from ConnectSell, who is really very technologically savvy, is recommending that you set up your Google business on your phone so that you'll be notified when someone leaves a review, and then you can respond right away from your smartphone. So
Very
if you are a
smart.
retail business or a service-oriented business and you're using Google, make sure you have that on your phone. Gail works 24/7 actually, because she's very connected to this idea as someone who works with a cell phone company. Customer service is key for her. And so being able to respond quickly is very important to her. So I think that's a great tip. If you're setting up Google Business, do it on your smartphone so that you can really be responsive, because those reviews happen fast and hard.
Yeah.
And it's hard to come back from them if you wait too long.
I have a lot of Google stuff on my phone. I have Google Drive. You can set up Google's. Yeah, I would say, yeah, not only get Google Business on your phone, but get Google Analytics on your phone too once you're set up with that. But to answer the social media question, so you fill out all of this, right? This is the back end. So let's say I'm filling this out. I'm going to give you an example. It's for the farmers market. Let's say it's the Grafton Farmers Market page. Oh, I'm so proud of myself for coming up with a good example to tell you guys about. So it's for the Grafton Farmers Market here. So let's say this is my page and I'm going to put an image here of some tomatoes. And then on Twitter, it's going to be carrots, right? And then you fill out your title and your description here. Okay, so this is all on the back end now. Okay, but then when you pull up, like let's see, but then when you pull up your farmers market page, okay, on the front end, it won't be shown on the front end of the page. So then let's say, I don't have it up right now, but then let's say, just pretend this says farmers market page, okay? This, it will say Blues history, right? So let's say on the back end, I filled out all this stuff for Paramount and that social media stuff, right? The Twitter, the link, the face on the back end. And then when you go here and you copy this and you paste it into Twitter or you paste it into Facebook, then it's taken care of for you that way.
Okay.
So you plug it in on the back end, you won't see it. This is the stuff where like all this stuff is talking to each other on the back end.
Got it.
So I noticed for my business, my own personal business website, when I wasn't filling stuff in and then putting stuff on my Twitter account, the picture was just coming up blank. And that drove me nuts. We're such a visual world. You don't want like that, what's that little gray image, so that's why I say fill in that stuff. Oh no, come back. Does that help? Any other questions? Well, that was a good one. That was a very good one. So fill this out on the back end, and then when you go to share that link on the front end, it's taken care of for you on the back end.
Kit Keller is asking, she's Grafton Hotel Apartments. She's asking for a recommendation for a media library plugin for WordPress that can be used to categorize photos to find them more easily in your library. For instance, they have an extensive photo of each apartment.
Sure. I cannot recommend a plugin at this time off the top of my head. But I would say the question that you asked you asked, you articulated that so good, Kit. I would say Google plugins for media libraries and then do some research on it, because you're right, that's a problem when you guys have something where it's like you have pictures for each individual room for 20 different apartments. That can be a little tricky. There's so much stuff out there though. You could always just try a plugin, and if it doesn't work for you, get rid of it and try a new one.
Cindy Pettit says she uses Google Drive with separate folders for each.
Find a way to, you could also just, yeah, it's just a matter of kind of playing with it and figuring out how to organize it. Yeah. What else? Oh, so again, this is like really deep in stuff, like deep. I'm curious. So now that you guys have heard what the presentation was today, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like, you're still like 10, you're like, whoa, I learned a lot. And 1 is you're still forky. And you're like, what? Where are you guys on that scale? I'm curious.
Hold
You
up your
can,
hands.
yeah, give me a finger.
I'm gonna do this.
What's Pam at? A 7.
John's a 7.
Nicole's at an
Nicole's an
8.
8. She's an overachiever. Liz is an 8. Linda's a 6.
What about Deb?
Deb and Jim, where are you?
Let me see your fingers.
Hold them up together and then you'll be 2.
Yeah. Are you?
Zing Boutique needs to get a new website first.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Deb, let's connect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kit,
Okay.
if you were going, Kit says, repeat the question. Based on what you learned today, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you feel you're at now with the
10.
knowledge you were hoping to get?
10 is like you're a pro now, and 1 is you're still at a forky. What?
8.5. Olivia says 8.5.
Excellent.
Rock star.
Yeah. So again, like, I can't stress this enough. You can pay someone to do all of this. You can pay someone to build your website, to do your SEO. There are a dime a dozen companies out there that do this sort of thing. However, if you're like, a lot of you out there, Portal, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, can Excel, you name it. Like, a lot of you guys are already well established. It's just a matter of now adding in that little extra, and the thing with SEO that I really want to stress, that I haven't been, if I didn't before, I cannot stress this enough. It takes a minimum of 3 months to see some traction or difference when it comes to your keywords. So, you got to give it some time. And then now, are you ready to get real like meta? Now I'm going to go back to what Annalise taught, where once you have this all in the back end of your website, really detailed and filled in, when you're out there hustling on social, like Annalise taught you, hardcore, right? Because you have to regularly post. Like, that's just the name of the game. If static is silence, right? Static silence. If you don't post, it's going to go cold. But if you have
like we said too, going along the lines with that too, Sarah, the goal of your posting on social media is to keep people in the loop, but ultimately you want to drive them to your website. And like Sarah was showing us, like I even learned stuff today. So thank you, Sarah. But the goal of your post on social media is to drive the analytics on your website, because in turn then it helps your SEO and people find you on Google. So
and if anything, the analytics for your social media that you look at, so I've learned this, I've noticed this or observed this, is like, you'll know if you're on the right track if you notice similar analytics between your social media platforms and your website. You'll know you're on the right track then, or you'll start to see, or like, let's say your social has been operating one way and then you see a difference in your website analytics. That's where you'll know, like, that's the stuff. But it takes time, you guys. That's why This is the American dream because you got to hustle, even on the back end of a silly little website for your business. I'm tired, y'all. This is exhausting, but it's with each little keyword, right? And it really, I mean, it really takes time. I cannot tell you how many customers would get so frustrated when I worked at the Journal Sentinel, where they were like, what do you mean? What? It's only been 3 months and how come my website hasn't blown up? In reality, they say, in reality, a solid SEO, like the big boys out there that pay for like the crazy SEO programs, they're paying minimum for like a 6 to 9 months SEO program, because it takes that long for the internet seeds to grow and plant. Do you know what? Oh, I could sit here all day, but I digress.
Hey, I'm going to give you, for those of you who are nonprofits, and even those of you who are for-profit businesses, I would highly recommend this. I have, as you can see, I have a rock star team who understands technology, social media, web design.
Ooh.
One of the things that we have integrated into our board meetings, not every board meeting, but every second or third board meeting, is they give updates on our SEO, on our social media, on our analytics, so that our board can see how we're moving and that we're moving forward. And as a nonprofit, I would tell you that's a great way to better engage your boards. As a for-profit business, I think it's a great way to look at your advertising dollars and see if you're making the right kind of spends. Because I think when you see it printed, when you're sharing it with a group, more of our board is engaged on our social media now than they are after every time we do this presentations, because they realize that we're pumping things out. They also understand, and they share their business information with us, and they get that the more they pump out and the more we share what they pump out, we are all growing exponentially for that. So that would just be something I would tell you as a nonprofit and even a for-profit business.
I'll even do you one better, right? Let's say you're trying to fight for advertising dollars,
Yes.
but you have to take it to a board, which I had to do for the OCJLP, right? When you show them this stuff, it makes it a lot easier to ask for marketing dollars. And you don't have to ask for a lot if you're going to a nonprofit board like this. But then that goes back to where Annalise was saying, like, Facebook advertising is so stupid easy, y'all. It's so easy. It's ridiculously easy. So then if you can like convince your board to like toss you $100 a month, and then you invest that into social media marketing and drive people to your website. Annalise and we have seen so much growth in followers for the chamber. I've noticed this for years living here, of like, there's a lot of people where they don't really know what the chamber does. Or Annalise and I joke and they think like, well, we work for the village. No, so that's one of our big things that we're trying to do as an entity for our business, is like to educate the general public on just what exactly the Grafton Chamber does. And as we've been teaching people about that, we've noticed our followers grow. And then that grows traffic to our website, more engagement with our events, activities, tourism, you name it. So it's all cyclical, right?
So Scout says she's about a 5, but she's very glad that Nicole is at an 8, because together Big Brothers and Big Sisters is going to rule the world.
Good. I just want to remind people too, that take advantage of, like, so I'm all about the grassroots, right? It's the little things that count. I know a lot of you out there do this. Grafton Hotel, I love it. Every time you guys have an open apartment, you let us know. We put it in our newsletter for you. Please share, because like our newsletters, for example, you guys, our newsletters live on our website for a year. So that's a whole year of a link going to your stuff. So be sure to share that with our newsletters, and keep your eyes out in the coming days in our newsletters. So this wraps up our 3-part series. I'm proud of the few that made it to part 3. You guys really challenged yourselves, right? So it really, like, each one kind of got a little bit smaller of an audience, but I think it's quality, not quantity. So I hope you guys got to learn what you were looking for.